sorry, I didn't see you there. I was thinking deeply about the swolius of my soleus.
I don't believe my eyes. Okay, we are Team No Calves here, and here you disrespecting the shrine of truth and justice by doing calf raises. What's going on, man?
Bro, you got the aesthetics from the knee up, I got them from the knee down. That's how we roll, we make a good team. And I think today it would be good to talk about some bodybuilding.
What about bodybuilding?
Well, I think a lot of powerlifters should train more like bodybuilders, and they don't know how bad they're screwing up their training.
Okay, whoa. This sounds a little controversial. You're saying that powerlifters should train more like bodybuilders?
Absolutely.
These are bold statements. Back it up with facts, son. As you're saying, Greg, so why should powerlifters train more like bodybuilders?
So there are several factors that determine how much you can lift, but the thing about them is most of them you really can't do anything about. So how long your limbs are, your muscle origins and insertions, your fiber type breakdown.
Oh, so my bicep, the peak, it's all about the origin. You're saying I'm screwed?
I'm not saying you're screwed, I'm just saying you're gonna look tiny forever.
I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Hit me! 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
Okay, wow. Thanks, Greg.
You got it, man. Shoulder to cry on. So, you have several factors like that can affect how much you lift, but that you really can't do anything about.
Sure.
And you're only left with two other things once you get through all of those, and that's technique and efficiency with the weight, neuromuscular efficiency, and then after that, just how big your muscles are.
Okay.
And so as far as those motor learning factors go, that efficiency, technique, those things, how you train can definitely affect how long it takes you to master them. But if you look at most great powerlifters throughout time, their training looked quite a lot like bodybuilders. They would train lifts once or twice a week, mostly in the 8 to 10 rep range, doing their 5s and 3s for the last 6 or 8 weeks before a meet, but basically training like bodybuilders most of the year, hitting muscles and movements once or twice a week, sets of 8 to 12. And you know, you could look at someone like Ed Cohn. You can't say Ed Cohn hadn't mastered the squat.
We could pretty much say he's like the Wayne Gretzky of powerlifting.
So really the only factor you're left to look at is muscle, because like we were saying, most great lifters, like Ed Cohn, who squatted once a week his entire career, you can't look at Ed and say he hadn't mastered the squat.
Right.
Maybe if you trained a different way, you can master it in maybe 6 months, whereas if you did it once or twice a week, bodybuilding style, it might take you 2 years. But that's going to happen as long as you're training hard over a long period of time.
Right.
And then really the only other factor you have to look at is muscle size.
Okay.
So, and that's not to say that those heavy sets of 5 and 3 won't build muscle. It's just, when you look at the literature, almost unanimously, they don't build muscle as efficiently as training in the bodybuilding range of 8 to 12 reps.
So the bodybuilding range is what you'd say 8 to 12 repetitions?
Yep.
So where does the misconception stem or come from for a lot of powerlifters, where they'll do, you know, what they'll call a powerlifting style routine, train with probably a little bit less volume than they should, and at a lower rep range? Where does that come from, and what can people right now watching this video, what can they do to rectify their training?
Well, I think where a lot of that comes from is, you know, you have to look at what the incentives are when someone starts your program.
Right.
Most people don't really have a long attention span. They're not going to do something for moderate gains for months and months at a time. They want to hit those big PRs in the first few weeks. And the best way to do that is have them lifting fairly low volume, really heavy, and that'll get them that will get them as efficient as possible with those loads and those movements as they can in those first 3 or 4 weeks, so they get those early gains and then hopefully stick with your program.
Sure.
Whereas like the bodybuilding approach, that's a more long-term approach. You know, because it just takes longer to build muscle, but you know, a bigger muscle isn't necessarily a stronger muscle, but it has the potential to be a stronger muscle.
Right.
And that's really what it comes down to. If you're looking to see how strong can I be, just what is my potential, you will not reach your strength potential unless you reach your muscle potential.
Now, and Greg, a couple like and befores, we gotta leave some disclaimers here. When you say bodybuilding training, or training more like a bodybuilder, are you also saying some of the movements, some of the accessory work that should be done, or what are you also saying? Like, should we wear fanny packs, Greg? Like, what's going? Should we all wear fanny packs? What's going on?
Yeah. So cut off sweatshirts, mandatory dress code.
Yeah.
a gallon of something that's not quite clear, maybe like watered down urine, you're not quite sure.
Pink alien piss. Okay.
Yes, you should definitely train the movements that a powerlifter would. So, you know, your squats, benches, and deadlifts. And those you might even want to keep training heavy for heavy sets of 5 or 3, but that doesn't necessarily, the bulk of your work should come more in the bodybuilding range. And when you're talking about exercise selection, a bodybuilder would pick an exercise to bring up a lagging muscle that was holding back their physique.
Sure.
And a powerlifter, it's the same process, but you're doing exercises to bring up the muscle that's holding back your lifts.
Right.
So if you're pitching forward, like, you know, if you're pitching forward on a squat, then that tends to mean you have weak quads.
Right.
So that just means you would do more bodybuilding work to get your quads bigger. Because as soon as they get bigger, as long as you're still squatting, they're going to get stronger. They're going to get incorporated into the movement.
So we should do calf raises, or what are we saying in this video? For everyone that just wants the like neat summary, didn't have the attention span, went right to the end for this up, what's going on?
Well, really what I'm trying to say is that when
What are you trying to say, Greg?
When people think powerlifting style training, when they think that heavy, few reps, low volume training, that's great for peaking for a meet, but the vast majority of your training for the rest of the year should be higher volume in those higher rep ranges so you can handle the volume that it takes to grow, because you have to reach your muscular potential if you're going to reach your strength potential.
Greg, let's actually train. You want to start, we said chest, you want to start with the bench press, what do you want to do?
Yeah, let's tear into it, but maybe skip the bench for some pec deck.
The pec deck.
Pec deck.
The pec deck.
The pec deck.
Wow. I'm learning things I never thought I would know. That's it, guys. That's the video. That's why powerlifters should train a little more like bodybuilders. More information will be found in the description. Greg has a whole article that's 4,200 words, right?
Thereabouts, yeah.
If you want to read and learn, you're going to learn something today. Check out that article. Thank you so much for watching. Greg, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, if you like the video, make sure to like the video.
Like the damn video!
Like the video!
Like the video!
That's a requirement. And we'll be seeing all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace!
I'll smother you with my beard.